Hello, everybody, and welcome in to the Penny Bloom podcast. Today, we are back with another actor spotlight, another edition of our first actor spotlight for Dev Patel. This week, we are discussing a movie he stars in a pretty massive capacity. Chappie, released on March 6th, 2015, written by Terry Tatchell and Neil Blomkamp, directed by Neil Blomkamp. I am Colton Robertson. I'm joined by Joseph George. What's up, homie?
Oh, what up, what up? Always a pleasure to be here.
Oh, and it's always a pleasure to have you. And just like last week with The Last Airbender, and as we will do for the rest of this actor's spotlight, we're gonna key in on Dev Patel to start. We
Mm-hmm.
can go ahead and move on to our typical movie talk. Um,
I think very easy to, actually, on this one. A
yeah,
lot easier to than The
yeah.
Last Airbender, that's for sure. He actually has the best performance in the movie, which is very surprising whenever you have Hugh Jackman and Sigourney Weaver, just two
Mhm.
legends in the game.
Absolutely.
I forgot they were in this movie. I saw this a while ago, and I didn't remember a
I
whole lot, but
realized while I was watching it, this was absolutely a first viewing. I got
hmm,
this and Real Steel crossing
okay.
paths in my head,
Yeah.
the Hugh Jackman element of it all.
The Hugh
Um,
Jackman verse is very robotic.
mhm.
Around this time, I guess.
I mean, because he had the Wolverine with, like,
Mm-hmm. Basically, a real
mecha
steel
villain at the
robot.
end. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and then Real Steel, and then this. I mean, X-Men: Days of Future Past was 2014, where the villains are the Sentinels.
Damn,
Um,
dude's really he has something
a
against
lot of robots,
robots. Yeah,
a
he
lot of
either
robots.
loves them or hates them, or
Yeah.
just wants to be
Wants to
involved.
use them to destroy them? I don't know. I don't know.
Hmm.
So I agree with you. I think that I kind of felt that way last week about The Last Airbender, that for me, he was honestly the best performance, but I wouldn't say it was, like, easily the best performance.
Mm-hmm.
This week, it's, like, no fucking doubt he's the best
Yeah,
performance in the movie. Um,
I'd say
the only one.
there's like one or like the voice actor for Chappie.
Yeah,
I think
Shalta
that's
Copley.
like very, very impressive what he's doing, and
Mhm.
like I don't know the behind the scenes really whatsoever. I don't know if he's like, is there someone doing
Mocaps or
like, is
anything.
he doing the mocap, or is someone else
It
doing the mocap?
almost seemed like it. I don't know. That's a good question.
Because I mean the
Because
VFX on Chappie look
Chappie's impressive.
incredible.
Chappie's an impressive VFX
Yeah,
achievement, to be sure.
but man, did Dev Patel, our boy Dion here, did he have to go through it? Dude was like, dude, I don't know. I loved like that he was just put in very, very dire situations because he's just such a good actor that every time he was put in them, it was, I don't know, it was nice to see him act. Like, it started off light in air quotes by like being, held at gunpoint by the crew. I don't know what to call this gang, this group, but he gets
The
held at
most
gunpoint.
annoying motherfuckers alive.
Well, mommy, or what's her.
Yolandi,
Yeah, she's, like,
she's
kinda
my favorite
chill.
character.
Okay, yeah.
That's the thing for me, is I don't think it makes any fucking sense that she rolls with them. Um,
Are they a
like,
band? Are they, like, a
Yolandi and Ninja are a part of a rap rave group from South Africa. Um,
okay,
and their real names are Yolandi and Ninja. Those are their stage names and the names they are given in the movie.
okay.
Um,
Wow.
so it's kinda funny. I wonder if they're, like, playing themselves, like, in the movie, are they a part of a rap rave group, and that's kind of what they do also, and this is just what they do in their free time? I don't know.
Yeah, they
But
just
yeah, you're right. Dev
crimes.
Patel's Dion he has to
He's
go through it.
man, I mean, just everything. This poor guy. I mean, so is it am I reading it right that he designed like, he
Yes,
is,
dude.
like, designed from the ground up sorta thing? Like, he's th
I take that to be the case as well, which is why it's so fucking befuddling that he just works in a fucking cubicle with everyone else.
That's what I'm saying.
Um,
I was like, am I
Hysterical.
reading it wrong, or is
Um,
it like, does he
no,
have
you
the
are not reading it wrong. He's clearly the most important person at the company. So
Mhm.
I just thought it was hysterical that he's working, like, whenever they cut to, like, his Hugh Jackman's also Like, I don't know, they must all be like, I mean, like, it's not a bad workplace environment, like, in terms of
Mhm.
if you wanna promote, equilibrium and everyone's as important as anyone else, like, that makes sense. It was just jarring, as, Americans to see, like, probably the most important dude at this company working at a cubicle with everyone else.
Uh,
Um,
that is true. I guess this is just so they are supplying the entire country of South Africa, or is it just the city that they're in with the robots? Or is it like the
um,
world? Are they like
I'm
selling
pretty
them
sure
to the
it's just
world?
Johannesburg. I'm pretty sure Johannesburg is the only police force with robots right now. It's still in, like, an experimental phase is
Mm,
what I kinda take it to
yeah,
be.
because they do have like
Um
South American flags on them.
Mhm.
I guess I didn't really think of the location
South
at all.
African,
But
yeah.
yeah, okay, duh. Very weird. Elon from South Africa, um, and he's the one actually making robots that can like walk,
Mhm.
and I don't know. It's really weird. It's getting
Yeah,
scary now. It's like
yeah.
becoming
No, we're there.
more and more real. But uh, no, this I don't. I mean, the movie is made whatever. I'm coming off of Dune 2 is my last watch. So it is hard to
Fair.
watch any movie kind of after that. But I did, try to suspend as much of that as I could because
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I remember back when I watched this, I'm like, I remember having a fun time whenever I watched this the first time. And coming back, I'm like, man, Chappie, for one, looks incredible. The
The
like
effects are really good.
in like the interactions that he has with
Mm.
people, like when people touch him, the chains
Yeah,
that
look
are
very
hanging
good.
off of him, the everything, it looks incredible. And I think the story is actually kind of pretty cool. Like this is a really cool, like they throw a lot of like robot AI consciousness. Like I mean it's kind of a whole lot that they're throwing in here, but what they're going for I thought was pretty cool.
I
And
think that the story's bones are there. Um, I'm not gonna lie to you. I think this movie's bad.
no,
I
it
think
is
it's a
bad.
bad movie.
No, it is bad. Definitely.
Um
Like it's there is some dialogue that is pretty funny. Like for some reason, um I think maybe they just kind of got into their characters more as the movie went on, but like at the beginning, they just seemed that they were like unsure of their lines or like they were just kind of I don't know. The deliveries were very off for some reason to me. But then they kind of got into a groove, I guess, as the movie went on. And like I think I teared up maybe like whenever Chappie woke up for the first time, and then whenever, like at the end, whenever the whole consciousness transfer is happening. But it's not like I'm
Mhm.
crying. It's just kind of like, oh, yeah,
No. I
it's
mean,
hitting me. It's tugging the right strings, like it's a cute moment between the two
yeah.
and
I
everybody.
wish it would have
But
affected me. It felt very, it all felt really shallow and cheap to me. I don't know.
yeah,
The thing for me about a character like Chappie, which is a great idea, especially when you think about the idea that this movie was originally supposed to be the first of 3 movies. It was a proposed trilogy, and then this movie bombed. I mean, like, they leave it off with, like, Yolande's consciousness
that is
getting
kind of
transferred, and
true.
they,
Oh
like,
shit,
um
they were kind
so,
of
like,
setting
this
up a whole
movie
lot.
bombed, and
Wow.
they were like and, like, they didn't do that the whole time or anything, which is why I still think that this coulda done a little better. Um, I think it's kinda cheap to make Chappie, um like, all the emotional stuff you're supposed to feel is related to him being an infant, basically.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, like, it's fine, it's good, it is what it is. I think that that's I don't know what else you do for this movie. I'm not saying that I think that there's, like, a better way to go about it. I just think that that's, like, a cheap way to get emotional connection
Hmm.
to the robot is just to and I like, again, I get it.
I
I
think
don't know what else you would
that's
do.
just kind of
Um
the general go-to AI waking up story that,
No, yeah, and
it's always,
it's
they start unknowing. They have to start learning by themselves. That's always,
absolutely.
I think, kinda I don't
Yeah,
know,
and I don't think it's unoriginal. I don't think it's,
but you're saying
um
that that's the only source of any,
That's the only
like,
source of
yeah.
emotion in this movie, and at a point that simply doesn't work for me. Um,
Mhm.
like, and there's all sorts of stuff in this movie that's just kind of the messaging's really muddled. Ultimately, it comes down to a really just like what's good and what's bad, like sort of thing, which is fine.
Mhm.
Um, but I mean, it's the only characters you like are Chappie, you like Dion, and you like Yolandi.
Mhm.
Um, Dion just keeps getting thrust into situation after situation. He's kind of like in a different situation. And frankly, there are parts of this movie where I don't even really like
He
Dion,
turns into a
you
little
know?
bit of a
Um,
narc, a little bit of
yeah, bro's a
yeah,
little bit of a fucking douchebag.
god complex little bit
I am
in
your
there
maker.
as well. Yeah. Which
And
was
like you are, but like go about it a little bit more delicately, man. Like this he's
mhm.
waking up and shit. Like,
Yeah.
but
And
regardless,
also, he did have a shitty ass stepfather though. This was not the best father figure to have in his life for sure.
it
Just
was not the best figure to have in this movie at all. Ninja fucking sucks. Um,
he just if
he's
Steve
terrible.
Harrington and Theo Vaughn had a baby, I think this is what comes out. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe throw in what's that one guy that has I think he's a rapper, but honest I want to grow up and act like I don't know nobody. I don't know. He's freaking so weird.
Is it?
Oh.
I don't know.
Oh my god. What is this guy? I I think he okay, wow. It's going to bug the shit out of me. I'm going to have to figure it out.
You're gonna have to Google those lyrics.
Oh my
Um,
god. I don't even think that's just a Vine. That's just like he was on Vine for a little bit, I think, and that's maybe how he got popular. Um no, no. Let's see. My main
is
goal
it
is to grow up and act like I yeah, this is
My
him.
main goal is to blow.
Who is this guy? I have the video, but it does not say his name. Oh my god.
oh, yeah,
Riff
Riff Raff.
Raff. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, okay. I don't know why that took so long.
Tiptoeing in my Jordans.
Yeah.
That guy? Yeah.
Meld those
No,
three
that's spot
together.
fucking on.
Yeah.
You could even cut Steve Harrington out of that completely
Yeah,
and go Theo
actually,
Von and Riff Raff,
that's way
and now
better.
I'm fucking there.
Mhm.
Like, dude, with, like, 0 of the acting ability, it's kind of incredible that I don't even know what they were going for with some of the choices they were making with these people. Um,
Yeah, I don't
like,
know.
Ninja is I fucking hate the ending. I fucking hate it. I think it's so bad. Like, I think Yolandi sacrificing herself for Ninja after Ninja, like, completely unearned, decides he's gonna risk his life for everybody. Um, and then they kill Yolandi, and Ninja has this moment where you're supposed to feel bad for him. I don't feel bad for this fucking guy. Fuck him.
I
This
literally
guy's
was
a
like, "No,
shit.
you should have died." I'm like, "I'd
You shoulda
rather
died.
you have died." Like, and
In
oh,
fact, they
the
should have done something where they flipped the fucking script there. Like, that's
who was the other dude? He was kind of chill. He was like kind of the like uncle.
America.
Yeah, America. He was like whatever. He's a non-factor really. Dude got ripped in half. Which was kind of nuts. Like,
That was also one of the funniest parts of this movie. Why the like, why the fuck is it R-rated? Like, I get that we have a bunch of F-bombs and we have that one dude getting ripped in half. If it's an R-rated movie, go further with it. What are we doing here? Like, I heard, like, a couple F-bombs throughout the front of the movie, and I was like, "Wait, is this movie not PG-13?" And
yeah,
and then, like, and then that guy gets ripped in
like
half, and I'm like, "That's the only thing they used to take
dude,
advantage of this."
they could have had Chappie go on like a crime run where like they manipulated him in a way of being like, "Oh, it's not crime. They're just sleeping." Imagine him going like
Mhm.
around town just with all of those throwing knives and all those weapons and just sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep. Imagine him just like I mean, it'd be terrible. Like I mean, he'd be killing
Mhm.
mass amounts of people, but I think it'd be, I don't know. I think if they went into that angle more, or I think
There's like I don't know. I think there's a better way to take advantage of an R rating is all. Like
that is
it felt
crazy that it
half-assed
is
for the
R.
R rating.
Yeah, and like
Um in
the other
fact,
gangs,
this
like
movie probably wouldn't have flopped if it was PG-13. I don't know who its target audience is if it's rated R. You know what I'm saying?
that's true. This
Like,
is not for adults whatsoever. Like
no,
there is,
at all.
yeah, it's weird. And like the other, like the guy who needs $20 million, which is the whole reason that the whole plot moves, and like the plot is pretty dumb. Like I think the only cool parts are like just seeing a robot
Literally,
wake up for the first
yeah,
time and like do these things. It's not that the movie's good. It's just that like, oh, you're showing just a
they're
really cool
fun concepts.
situation
Yeah.
and things like that. But like there are some fun times where like I don't know,
There's a
like
good
some
movie in here.
montages where he's learning out and like going through learning
Mhm.
to shoot sideways. Like some stuff is somewhat like funny, but it's just always blah. It's always just kind of meh.
So
It
unremarkable.
never goes anywhere.
Um,
Yeah, it just
no, it really doesn't. And that's the thing is that, like, it is a pleasure to have 2 movies in a row where I can honestly say that for me, Dev Patel is the most enjoyable part of the movie, you
yeah.
know? Like, I think that there's a couple moments throughout this movie where he actually provides a like, Hugh Jackman is fucking bad in this movie. He's not good,
His
and that blows my mind.
performance is bad and his hairdo is bad.
Hairdo is
This
terrible,
is
his
it
character's awful,
does not
his
work.
his acting's not good, like, so
And this is his native
and
accent, right? Isn't like, or no, I guess this is a South African,
I
but is
can't
he
tell if he is
Australian?
slightly adjusting. He's
Like,
holding the rugby ball, which makes me think they're trying to tell us that he is Australian. Um,
yeah, that's what I mean. He sounds
I think he's
very
basically an
Australian,
Aussie.
right? Like,
Yeah, yes.
I don't. Is there
It's
a
slightly
South Af
different than
Yeah, I
Ninja
guess
and
I don't
Yolande's
know
accent
that
for
yeah.
sure.
Oh, okay. So that's a South A they have like, is that a
They have
very
South African accent.
stereotypical South African? Like, that's
I think they're just sounding the way that they sound, and they're from South Africa. Um,
okay. Yeah, I don't really get that from Hugh Jackman then. I don't know, it's
no, I don't either. So, the thing is also is that I think the fact that Dev Patel is actually this good in this indicates to me that he basically everyone else feels like they're being directed poorly except for Dev Patel.
hmm.
It's fascinating, it's weird, I don't get it.
I think he
Um,
just always puts in maximum effort. Like, he will be like, no
right.
matter how shitty this movie is, he might recognize it in the now, but he's like, "I'm still gonna do my job," and I think
And I also feel like there's something here where this isn't so as obviously bad as other movies, you know, like The Last Airbender, I think that's a more obviously bad movie. There's a weird part of me that feels like there's something about this movie that well, it's just unremarkable. At least The Last Airbender's bad, you know, like
yeah,
Chappie's bad, but it's in a really
they were
dull
trying.
fucking way.
Like, you could tell they
Yeah.
were trying too. And if they're going for the whole consciousness in a robot, it's infant, let's do all these first things. Like, why didn't they like try to have him love somebody, or like try to go down that route and like, oh dude, I just okay, that's
I got the
banger,
vinyl on display here.
banger of an album.
Teaching a Robot to Love by Amelia Moore here. I
Mhm.
gotta listen to that. But yeah,
Banger.
so it felt on theme today, so I went ahead and put it on display.
Yeah, but like there's so many things that they could have done that they didn't. Like there was like a couple like they had him paint for a little bit, and I thought a
Mhm.
cool moment and everything. But like do just more of that, or like if they're trying to go for that part of the story, I don't know what their goal
Yeah,
really
there's
is. Is the goal to show that the police robots aren't good and this big or the big mecha one is even worse? Is it to show just this consciousness story and the first time AI is woken up? It's not doesn't really seem that important to the movie, but it seems that that's what everything's
they don't
revolving
deal with
around.
the they
It's
don't deal with the ramifications of Dev Patel's being able to live forever,
Mm.
like, that's not something humans typically want.
Yeah, CHAPPIE discovered, like, Dev Patel was like, no, there's no way. Like, there's no way we can transfer your consciousness. Like, it's impossible. No human, we're not even close to that. And CHAPPIE just fucking plugs in 8 PS4s together, daisy chains them together, uses the graphics cards off of those, and is like, I've done it. Tony Stark
I've done it.
Tony Stark solved time travel, but he solved
Yeah.
consciousness. He's like, I know what consciousness is. He's like, I've done it. Yeah. Oh, and we don't need to mention that the human helmet that reads the human brain, the neurotransmitters, works
Also
on
reads
a
the robot
robot,
helmet.
works on a titanium-made robot. We don't have to, I don't know. I love...
Bro. No, so that's my thing, is that I think the themes of this, like, all they really want you to care about is that Chappie lives. They're like, all that matters is that Chappie makes it out of the movie alive, which is fine. But you gotta have other shit going for you too. I thought at some point they were going to have like a clear, like, the police robots are a bad entity. Like, you should not have robotic police, and they go that way. But what's interesting is that the angle they kind of use to say is bad is the human control of the robots is the bad thing. You know what I'm saying? Which is it's 10 years ago, so it's a little confounding, and it's less real to them than it is in 2025.
And, like, is Hugh Jackman just okay with starting basically like a war inside of his own city? Like, he seems very okay with what's going on. He's, like, very, like,
Absolutely. He wants
enjoying
that to
it
happen.
almost, which is
That
crazy.
guy tells him that things have to get a lot worse before they decide they need the moose, and he's like, "Well, then I'm gonna make things
Yeah.
a lot worse."
So my question is, I love that it's just a singular USB drive that is the guard key.
The
If
guard
you
key,
don't
yeah.
have this one USB drive, you're fucked. And that's the
Yeah.
entire security for the police force of this city. Anyway, but
Johannesburg, yeah.
he just fries all of them. He just fries all their CPUs, and they all just die. They all just fall over and die, and allow the city to go into chaos, showing that without the police force, it is chaos. So in a way, kind of like disproving his own, theory a little bit. But like, why wouldn't he? I don't know. Maybe he's just not smart enough. Like, just change them to start like attacking the wrong people to show that they can be
That
manipulated
they're vulnerable.
and that it's a robot and they don't know that it's just programming. They
Yeah.
will kill innocents if told to do so.
Well, that's the thing, is that ultimately they're doing a dangerous thing thematically with making him a former soldier.
Oh, he loved hopping in that robot and taking out those
And
people.
killing motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Like, that is
Cluster
why he
bombs.
wanted the moose to go through, is so that he could control the moose and feel that power.
Yeah, from a chair, from a warehouse, completely safe
Mhm.
and no danger whatsoever. And you're like, I mean, this thing was nuts. The weapons it had on it, like, he had fun. He was toying with these
He was
people.
carpet bombing them.
Yeah, I'm surprised this warehouse is still standing at all. Like, a single brick is even left on this thing. The amount of missiles he launched at a single gang and 4 other people.
And I think he killed 2 of them.
Yeah, he ripped America in half for sure.
Yep.
That was him. Yeah. I guess. I don't know why I'm always Yolandi. I don't know. For some reason I want to say Yu-Gi-Oh. Like I don't know why. That's what's coming to my mind. But no, like that. That's a confirmed kill. For him as well, which sucks. Yeah, is that? Did he kill any of the other gang people? I mean, probably in that carpet bomb, there's probably some people
I mean,
that went
some
down.
probably died, but, like, the dude who wants his 20 million gets killed by Ninja.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's right. Oh, with a shovel. That was pretty brutal.
Yeah.
But they don't even show it.
That's pretty
Yeah, it's
brutal.
like,
They don't even show it. You got an R rating, bro.
Man, that's
At least
true.
show me the blood spatter or something. Like, if you've got an R rating, fucking use an R rating. Otherwise, there's a reason this fucking movie bombed. You
I
know,
guess
like
one F word is enough. Like that, you can only have one in a PG-13 movie, right? I'm pretty sure
Mhm.
that's that. Like, so yeah, I
You
mean,
get one, yeah.
they were dropping them fucking just
Fuck mother, fuck
everywhere.
mother.
So that's probably the main reason it's actually rated R is
And
just
then
the
that's my thing
language.
is that, like, if that's the only reason you're gonna make your movie rated R, don't include so many F-bombs. Like, that's
Yeah,
if you want to turn this movie into a trilogy and you're not taking advantage of your R rating, you need the movie to do good, make it PG-13.
yeah,
And like, and I'm not one to be like, tone it down. I'm talking from a marketability standpoint. It's fucking stupid that this movie was R rated. Like,
yeah.
this is
And
so
they didn't use
for
the
preteens.
potential of it either.
No,
Like,
this is so for preteens, it's not even funny, you know? Like,
mm-hmm.
or early teenagers. Like, that is even the humor that's in it, that is mostly who it's for.
Yeah.
But they can't go see it in theaters without their parents.
Yeah, when did this was 2015. Yeah, I mean,
2015.
I was trying to think of when I would have even watched this. It definitely wasn't in the theater. It had to have been just on some streaming something. Because I wouldn't have like gone out of my way to watch this. I don't know. I
Mhm.
was trying to remember, but like at the time, I remember just being like, "Oh, yeah, all right, that was kind of fun," and then never thinking about it really ever again. It was just kind of like, "Yeah, I watched it. Okay, I'm moving on." Um, but like the only like impressive things about this movie, I think, is just how well Chappie fits into this movie. Like
Yeah.
just how good he looks, how well he interacts with the world, and everything like that. I think that's
Yeah,
good.
the
But then,
robots look incredible.
yeah, whenever the what's the big one called? The moose.
The moose.
What a stupid name.
Yeah.
Like for but whenever it takes off initially, that's like the only time it looks bad. But then whenever it's outside, I think like it actually looked pretty good
It's really good.
once it got out
There's
there.
really like,
Um,
I will give the movie a little credit. It when it's daytime, it doesn't look great, I don't think, like, visually, but in the darker settings, it
mm,
was really well lit, and it reflect like, it looked good a lot of the
yeah.
time. Like, there was
Yeah, I put this shot in here not because it's my actual favorite, but because you could tell that they were going for something really kind of artsy, and I thought it was just really funny. It's whenever I think Dion is talking to Chappie, and Chappie was like, "You made me to die. Like, what the fuck's up with that?" And Chappie's like, "No, no, no,"
Mhm.
or not Chappie. Dion's like, "No, no, no. Like, I had no choice. Blah blah blah." And Chappie's like, "No, I don't want to die. I don't want to die." And I think he like that's whenever he seizes up maybe, and like they don't know what's going
Mhm.
on. And Yolandi is like crying, but then it cuts to her, and like it's dark and like blurred background with like the little lights, colored blurred out lights in the background, and just like a single
Mhm.
tear kind of falls down her face. And like it doesn't look bad, but like the shots that surround it are so unlike it that it like I don't know. It
It
was just
stood
it was
out.
yeah. I thought it was just kind of funny and a little
That's
like
actually the scene where my favorite line comes from.
I did like the
It's
scene.
when
I don't know. I did
it's
like
like and there's a lot of
itty
when it
bitty
comes
tidbits
yeah,
that are good. Yeah.
there are moments that this movie shines really well in, you know? Like, I think that, um uh, the line where he's like, "Why would you create me just to die?" Like, a
Oh.
very valid question
Yeah.
because that's what Dion didn't have a plan for how to transfer his consciousness. He was just seeing if he could do it, if it was possible, and it was, so he did it. Um,
Yeah. I mean, he had to. I guess. Yeah. He could have.
he could have not done this.
Well, I guess Chappie was the only robot available to him because it was the only one scheduled for scrap and
Mhm,
everything. But yeah, he didn't really have. He was just gonna see like, yeah, I hope this works, and probably just let it die and then upload it in a new one. Probably was
mhm.
gonna be the if he didn't get abducted, you know,
Yeah.
um, which just how do they know that Dion is the van to go after, and they know that that's him and the guy that's
The
behind it?
logic flaws in this
Um,
movie are abundant.
mhm. The
There's
P
just
the PS4s, by the way, those come from the guy that they got the explosives from. that they went to buy explosives from for the heist job, and then there was just
That
like,
guy's just a killer. Doesn't matter what kind.
mm-hmm. Oh, and
Weapons, consoles, drugs.
what an absolute waste of Sigourney Weaver. Why is she in this
Oh my
movie?
god.
What did she do? Like I like at the beginning, she has like a couple lines of just telling people no, just being like, no, you can't do that.
Well,
No, I'm the CEO.
and
No.
you think they're gonna go with, like, an evil CEO thing? And they never commit to that,
Mm-mm.
like, there's so much
I guess in the
just
trilogy,
weak.
maybe, but in this movie, she is a non-factor. Like, I don't know if they had plans with her. I would hope so for including Sigourney Weaver.
Sigourney fucking Weaver.
Like, let's see, what year did Avatar come out? The first one?
Oh 09.
She's kind of, well, no, she's a scientist. She's not like the CEO guy or person in Avatar. I was
Mm-mm.
thinking like maybe just for that like similar role, but like no. Yeah, it's just very confusing all around. The only good parts for
Yeah.
me are Dev Patel and Chappie and a little bit of Yolandi. I
Yeah,
like Yolandi
yeah,
was nice
Yo
every now and then.
I like Yolandi a lot. She's my favorite character of the movie, that's who I decided to go with. I thought that, um there was something that thematically could have been really cool. Like, I had a tough time being okay with Yolandi deciding she was gonna sacrifice herself for Ninja. I don't get like, at a certain point, Yolandi's a good enough person to where she would have realized that the man she thinks she loves is an awful fucking person.
Yeah,
Um,
after seeing how they'd raise a kid, bro, it's like perfect.
yeah.
Like seeing how terrible of a father this dude was. Set him out just on the street. Came back with no arm on his first day out in the real world. He's like, ah, shit. He's like, even he recognizes. He's like, shit. Everyone
Oh,
makes
man, I
mistakes.
didn't
I'm
get
gonna
this.
teach you how to
Yeah.
shoot now. That's his apology. Is like, I'm sorry, we make mistakes. I'm gonna teach you how to be a gangster now, Chappie. And that's what he was trying to do before the whole
Fuck
time.
mother.
Um,
Yeah.
kind of, I don't know. That was funny. The first,
It was funny, yeah. I mean, like, it's just one of those things where it was funny the first time,
and then they kept like going like
and then
the
they
fourth
kept
and fifth
fucking doing
time.
it.
It was like okay,
Yeah,
and I guess he's
and,
a
like,
robot. It's the only way he knows
that's the only way he knows, of
whatever.
course, and
But
I
like
don't have any.
his language is eventually so evolved that like he's just talking
You would
however he
eventually.
wants. Like
Yeah,
he's no longer the baby he was.
but
He
now he
aged
chooses
very
to say "fuck
fast.
mother."
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, they went through the aging process very fast too. Like they could have.
which, I mean, there was the thing is that they go through the aging process really fast, but they also confoundingly don't do enough to show him
Yeah.
evolve.
Like
Um,
Dion comes back with like a bunch of infant toys and like
mhm,
children's books and like very, very low, like 3-year-old stuff because he looked up when do kids start talking
yeah.
because he said
So he's like,
one
"Okay, well, if
word
he's
last
done
time.
this, then
Yeah.
yeah, yeah."
And then over the span of one night, he's already well beyond that. And he's like, ah, well, shit, I guess have this book. That's the
Mhm.
most complicated thing I have in this box.
He does love the
And
book, though. He does love the
he
book.
did. Yeah, Black Sheep.
And that's the thing is that I think that he evolves quite a bit, but he's still very clearly a child at the end of this movie, like, an an adolescent. I wouldn't say
True.
he's, like, growing up, but
Just
he's
manipulated.
mhm,
That his
yeah,
reality, that's just all he knew. He thought he was putting people to sleep, and then he saw that dude not going to sleep and was like,
begging for his life.
"Oh shit." And then
"I
was
thought that you'd
mad.
play."
Yeah, was mad. I guess no, he did kind of really take it out. He did actually they got back to their
He
house.
almost beat
Yeah.
Ninja to death.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did. Just dessert. I mean, good. It felt good.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
I was enjoying it, enjoying watching it.
But
Um,
So, therein, I think it blows my mind that Yolandi would stick with these people, but I eventually came to a rationalization that I was like, she's just that good, that she would stick by people who need her more. She would sacrifice her life for
mm,
somebody who is the worst. She would do th she's so nice, she would even do that. And then I took that to be like what Chappie was willing to do for Dion, like, like he's like,
mm,
"I'm willing to sacrifice my life in order to save yours. I learned that from my mommy," that sort of thing, like, It
Yeah.
seems like the right thing to do. It's a good thing to do, and I was fine with that. It's cool, because even in the moment when he thinks that that's what he's doing, there's no other bodies. Like he's like, yeah, I'm willing to
Mhm.
die if it means you can live forever. And
Oh. Yeah.
and
It's
then I just feel like it just kind of like uh,
they just
collapses
never
in on itself.
they never it just never elevates. It's like it's
No,
always kind of right there and they're almost there, they could. And then it's like, "Oh, hey Dion, you're immortal now basically. If you charge up, you're immortal. You're a robot. We have transferred human consciousness into a robot and all we get is
looks
like,
at his dead body and is
yeah.
just like, damn.
Yeah, all we get is him looking at his hands for a couple seconds and then, "Oh, yeah, there's my body." Yep,
Runs
alright.
outside and is like,
Uh,
Chappie,
yeah.
like
Yeah, and it's look, like, I don't know. The
and
ending was
for the love
very
of God, let let a motherfucker die, bro.
mm-mm. Nope,
Let a motherfucker die.
not in this world now.
You know,
Not
nope.
now. If you have that helmet on for 1 second, over. You're immortal. And I don't know. Is that what we will reach? We wake one robot up and they're like, "Oh, I've solved consciousness. You're welcome, humans."
Who
And then
knows?
now we're all immortal. Is it really this simple? No.
Could
I
be.
probably I
Could
would
be.
I would assume probably a little bit more complicated than 8 PS4s and a random helmet. That
Don't think too hard
currently
about it.
those helmets that we have, you can make like a ping pong ball go up and down by making a fan go faster and slower. You know those things where like the little toy sets, you put the little thing on your head and you like
Yeah, yeah.
think about the ball going up. I always wondered if those were like total scams, or if it like actually did shit. But
Did you ever get the fucking what was it called? The ball, the one that it looked
fushigi,
like you could like make it. Yeah, fushigi. Did you ever get a
fushigi, yeah,
fushigi
just
ball?
a complete. It's just a ball. It's
Fucking ball.
you just have to. It's sleight of hand. You just actually have to be like good with. I don't know. Like you have to magician shit like that. It's kind of like you have to practice and like it was just I'd rather play with those little magnet things that you throw and they bzz, whenever you
Yeah,
throw them
yeah.
together. Oh, that was my shit. That was like my fit.
That's cool. That's cool.
That was my go-to back then. But
Mhm. No, but, like, there's so many things in this movie that are just so underwhelming that it was really disappointing. Like, when you have a movie with Hugh Jackman and Sigourney Weaver, both of them are not utilized in any proper way. Like, Hugh
mm-mm.
Jackman, everyone's so and this even applies to Dev Patel, whose performance is far and away the best, and I think that this isn't about his performance, it's about their characters. Everyone is so overwhelmingly one-dimensional. There's no depth
Mm.
to anybody here. Nobody goes beyond the surface level. So again, I ask, who the fuck is your target audience? If you want adults to go see this,
Yeah, the only arc for a character is Chappie. Like everyone else is just who they are. And they
mhm,
will do what they will do from the start of the movie. And at the end,
mhm,
they're either immortal or dead or maybe both. We don't know. And yeah, you're right. Like there's no one is ever like, maybe I'll change my ways. Or like,
I would
maybe I
even
don't
like
like the people I am
Chappie
hanging out with.
changes.
But not really, even
But he
still.
doesn't he doesn't evolve, and I mean, like, there's only so much you can there's only so much you can do with a child
Oh
character.
my god,
Um,
yes, he literally had it like an Ultron moment or like not an Ultron moment, but like he connected to the internet and he was like, "Oh my god, there's books, there's knowledge, there's all of this." He's like, "There's all of this knowledge." And he's like, "All right, whatever. Hook up the PS4s." And then he's like just moves on. Like so many like things that usually, I guess, in a movie like this, which is I don't know. I don't know what their goal is. I don't know what their is it just the human part that they're trying to make hit? Are they trying to focus on this consciousness shit? I'm focusing on it because that's what I'm more into, but like
yeah, yeah,
the movie does really jack shit to explain anything or give it any meaning, or it's
Yeah,
just
or even contemplate the philosophy of it. They're just kind of like, "What is consciousness? Oh, I found out what consciousness is. I can put consciousness in anything." And it's like, "Okay, should you?" You
that
know,
like
like
and
that's
the idea of like, oh, like this operation, no matter what, my human body is done. I guess he was dying, so like that adds to it.
Mhm,
But if he's like not shot there, if he's not dying, there was no question of like, huh, I am actually going to like die here. Like my human body's going to go, and hopefully this works. This is the first time we're ever doing this. I hope it
mhm.
works. No, just no contemplation, just like, "Oh, Chappie, no, it should be you," you know? Maybe that was just out of nervousness. Maybe he was like, "Fuck, I don't maybe I should just die. I don't know, like, this seems should we do this?" And, I don't know
Like,
if this is, like, my dream to become a robot or, like, the worst nightmare. I wish I could just
it
not
seems like a
eat
fucking nightmare.
anymore. Like, I wish I
Yeah,
just did not have to do the normal things that a human has to do to stay alive. I wish I could just function, but I wish I could
yeah,
keep all of the feeling and
yeah,
sensations,
feel.
all of that.
Like,
That is
the
very important. Yes, senses,
obviously, you
smelling.
feel emotions,
Um,
but you are senseless
mhm,
beyond sight. Like, you don't there is no other sense you have besides seeing.
mhm.
Especially like, that's why I think it would have been important to teach Chappie that, you
Mm.
know? Teach Chappie that this isn't like, you don't know anything else.
Yeah.
All you know is this life.
Damn.
Humans know what it's like to live in a different way. I don't think they'd like to live forever the way that a robot does once they've lived a life.
Yeah.
Um,
I think the story just kind of traps itself with this gang has to, or they have to get 20 million bucks to pay this gang off, so they have to have this robot trapped here. It's not like the movie would be way more interesting if this gang just didn't exist whatsoever and this guy just stumbled upon AI and was like, "Hey, let's try it in these police robots." And was like,
I
"This
mean,
is the first police robot to actually be somewhat maybe it's like it's just obviously better than all of the rest." And then
mhm,
he's like, "Oh, well, your talents are wasted here as a police officer. Let's like that would be a way cooler movie in my opinion." But
right.
yeah, it's
Well,
it
I mean, like,
is
you could even there's gotta be a balance here where the fact that they are never hunted by the law.
I think that that is their law. I think they're like, we have the robots. Fuck, we don't need humans anymore. I think they took because at the end they're like, they put 150,000 of the reserved humans back to work.
Mhm.
Like they're like, I don't think there was really anyone working. Like I don't any humans left.
Well, no, and that's my thing is that, like, imagine a movie where, like, let's say the gang doesn't exist, and this is a whole obviously, we're going down the route where, like, what if this movie was a whole different movie? But I think it's worth questioning when the movie's this bad. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Imagine a movie where the gang doesn't exist, Dion steals this robot, uploads its consciousness, and he is being chased by the law for theft of property.
Yeah, they
And
because
he and the robot have to figure out how to escape the law and stay alive.
and also
Maybe they
this
meet a Yolandi. Maybe they meet
USB
a
chip
Yolandi.
that is crucial to their security that Dion has to wake Chappie up. He just has the whole
They're just
time,
like,
and Hugh
"Bring it
Jackman's
back
the
by
only
the end
one
of
to look for it.
tomorrow."
Yeah, like Hugh Jackman's the only one to look for it, and he's trying to steal it himself. And when he
Mhm.
realizes it's gone, he's like, "Oh, where is it? I'll look into it. I'm not going to tell anybody." Or no one seems to care. The main security lock in our entire company's gone. Yeah, no, if they just remove the gang, I think the movie just gets better no matter what. I
And I
think
mean, like, I still think that a character like Yolandi's important, you know? And even, like, they were clear like I said, they wanted to make this a trilogy, which is why Dion stays alive, which is why Ninja's still alive, which is why, why Yolandi comes back to life. I think that if Dion and Ninja are dead at the end of this movie, but Chappie's mourning their loss,
mhm.
figures out how to transfer his consciousness into that body, goes and finds the fucking chip for Yolandi and brings her back, we're looking at a much better ending of this movie. The fact that
Yeah.
everyone makes it out except for America, who gets ripped in half, um, is fucking stupid.
Mhm.
So, like, there's
Yeah.
just there's no there's no stakes. Once
Mm-mm.
they figure out how to transfer consciousness, it's like, "Oh, well, everyone's gonna be fine
Mm-hmm.
as long as they scan their fucking
And
brain."
the CEO, Sigourney Weaver, doesn't give a fuck. She's just like, yeah, like, this is the worst possible thing. Like, this is DEFCON 1 for their company, and she's just kind of like, like, no, your project, it's still dumb. We don't really care. Like, there is mass chaos because of these robots, and she's just kind of like, like, it doesn't seem that she's on full alert that she should be. There's just many.
We don't even spend a lot of time with that stuff once the robots get, they're
They're
like, "Alright,
just
well,
gone.
they're all loose." Hugh Jackman goes to her, is like, "You need me. Let's go ahead and
Yeah,
do this thing," and she's like, "Yep, do it. I'm activating the moose."
yeah,
And then that's all we like, there's a lot of, potential here, and all of it is
yeah.
squandered.
I'm
There is not a
activating the moose. You go alone into the warehouse and do it all by yourself. I won't even watch or care about what you're doing. I don't. You could. He could have literally blown up the entire city, and she wouldn't have known. He was committing mass murder, like just with company property, with company
Mhm.
permission, and she had no idea. Um, yeah, a lot of just weird decisions, but glad that this is the Dev Patel spotlight because he's actually good. Like the actual gleaming light of the movie is just Dev. Dev's performance is nice, and um, Char Charito
Charlie?
Shard Sharlto. Is that right?
Charlto?
Charlto. Wow, I don't know. That's just very. That's hard for my mouth.
Charlto Copley.
Yeah, as Chappie. I think that they're really kind of the only two, and then yeah, Yolandi. But
And Yolandi's more a character thing. She's
yeah,
not very
her
good at acting
performance, yeah,
either.
no, it was just she was the only decent human being there.
Mhm.
Yeah, and that's I don't know. That is. I'll probably never come back to this.
I
Is
will never watch
yeah.
this
I
again.
don't
That's a
think I'm
full-blown
ever
guarantee.
going to, ever again. Am I mad that I did watch it? No. Like
No.
I think it's not in. It might be an actively bad movie. I was about to say it's not an actively bad movie, but
No, it's not actively a waste of time though, Like it wasn't like I always reference this. The only movie I've ever felt like was a waste of my time that I resented it for watching it was Ghost Rider 2. Um,
yeah, I
I would
think
watch it again before Ghost Rider 2. There's no doubt.
yeah, yeah. I think those movies. It's clear whenever it's just that bad, it's not there. We're not there. It didn't look bad. It didn't look great, but like there were some shots that were okay. I think the set
I
was
liked the
cool.
lighting in the den, like their home base.
Yeah, was
Yeah.
kind of cool. All the spray paint, all like their guns were all spray painted. I think like the costume designs and one of her shirts saying like "Who needs tits when you got an ass like this?" Crazy that that's one of her shirts that she wears. Um, just crazy. This is the route we're going down. Like this,
Mhm.
there's the story. They could have had such a good story here. They had such good talent with this trio of Dev Patel, Hugh Jackman, Sigourney Weaver, and the voice actor for Chappie also, kind of very, very great talent here, and just kind of wasted it on this meaningless story. And
The thing that I'm curious about too is if Ninja is I know he's probably not quite that big of a dick in real life.
I hope he's not playing himself. Like,
No, yeah, I mean when it comes to the fatherhood side of it, but the way he thinks being cool is
mm,
won't surprise me in the slightest if that's actually what he thinks being cool is. Um,
mm,
because
yeah,
I don't think the movie does enough to make fun of him in those moments. I think the movie handles certain like, you wanna be a gangster? You wanna be a gangster he's
you're
just kinda
right.
like,
It's not a self-aware. like, "Hey, look
I
at
don't think they're
these
making fun
steroids."
of him. I think that's just kind of who this character is. Um,
Eesh.
and that's
Yeah.
fucking terrible. Like, this dude's awful. Like, and not just a bad person, a just oh my god, dude. Like,
Yeah.
what do you who do you
I think he's
what is going
the
on here?
antagonist. Yeah, he's honestly the main antagonist of the movie other than Hugh Jackman.
Mhm.
Like, it's just, yeah, uneventful. It's meaning like, there's no deep
There's no
feelings
permanence.
whatsoever.
It's just
It's
so surface and shallow and empty. It's I
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
in a movie where it seemed like they were going for something that would not be shallow, that, like, they were like, "Stuff is deeper than the surface. Stuff is deeper than, than you're a robot. You can't do anything more than" like, the
Yeah, that
line
was
Dev
my
Patel
yeah,
delivers, like,
that
where
was
he's
my
like,
line.
"Don't" Yeah.
Yeah, I liked it, I don't know. It was man, yeah, I don't know, maybe I need to change the colors on these. I can't really read it that good, but yeah, he says, "In life, lots of people will tell you what you can't do, and you know what? You mustn't listen to them. You can or if you want to paint, you can. Anything you want to do in your life, you can do. Don't let people take away your potential, Chappie." And I was like, yeah, and he's painting. He paints that car, fucking baller too, just like a printer,
Mhm.
just prints it out. And then that was where my shot came in. It was the only time where I'm like, oh, this actually looks pretty, and like the light is like coming through just partially, and it's like it's Dev is lit like with that partial light. It's like half of his face is lit, kind of looking at Chappie, um, like Adam painting and just kind of the greenery of that warehouse and the car in the background. I don't know. I thought it just was an actual decent looking shot for the movie. So that's where my line and my shot comes from. Is that moment. But yeah, there's not much else. Yeah, there's only two scenes for me as well, and it is the only
Yeah.
two times where I somewhat teared up, but it's not anything the movie's doing. It's just like
Chappie waking up was cool.
yeah,
I liked
him
that
being
moment.
scared under the table and
Yeah,
like all
yeah.
the little interactions, like kind of like a
Mhm.
pet, at like, oh no, it's okay, come out, like telling, yeah,
They're,
like
like,
kind of
doing the little
calling
teeth
him
clicking
over,
thing.
yeah, like, and
Yeah.
it was cool, and then like the fucking. Oh, well, he needs to be a weapon. What is this? He's what you mean? What robot is? And then like you get just the interruption of the worst part of the movie. But then they go, they're like, all right, just go to the kitchen, dog. They're like, just shut the fuck up and just leave.
It's just
Finally,
so funny when you have a character that you clearly chose for like, the I'm willing to bet these roles were written for these people.
probably, I think maybe they were trying to go for like just authentic South African. Um, they wanted some group from South America to
South Africa, yeah.
or yes, South Africa to be in the movie, and I don't know, maybe there's just not many groups to choose from, and maybe
I'm
this is the
like,
only group that would sign on.
𝗏𝗏𝘃 is a South African, director. That's where he's from. Um,
Okay.
I think they booked these roles because, like, I don't know if you notice, and I wouldn't be surprised if you don't, Ninja has a tattoo that says D9. Uh, Neil Blomkamp's, like, first film was District 9, which was, like, a huge arrival on the scene. People fucking loved that movie. They were like, "Is this guy the next Spielberg?" And then he did this. Um,
Hmm.
and,
Okay. Yeah,
so
Spielberg would have fucked with this.
he would have dominated
He
this
wouldn't
fucking
have
movie.
done the gang shit though. I don't think like I had.
Well, there's just a better way to do it, like, with better actors.
Hmm.
Like, the thing is that, like, they're so unbelievable. Like, if you have somebody who
Yeah.
you have created a role for, who actively makes every scene he's in worse, maybe he shouldn't be in your movie.
Yeah, he was just bad. Just the hair, another hairdo, and maybe that is his real one actually. So, Ish, uh, and he's in a rap group. I guess he's got to stand out. But
And it's a rap rave group, by the way,
Yeah,
so it's also
what is
EDM,
okay.
rap
So
EDM.
so they just do both? I think there was some of their music in here, I'm
Oh,
assuming.
yeah, I think the credit song is
Yeah.
theirs.
Okay.
Um,
Um,
but, I mean, regardless, it's just not very good. And
mm-mm.
it suffers for that big time, but, yeah, I mean, like, my favorite scene is my favorite scene up to a certain point, and it's when they're transferring the consciousness of the robot,
Mhm. Yeah.
of Dev Patel into the robot. Um, I felt like there was actual tension, they were building up, like, them sawing open the door, they were building up
Mhm.
all that stuff,
Yeah.
like, that was cool. Like, that was relatively well done. I didn't like the thematic messaging or even the idea of them not dealing with any of the depth, but
Yep.
it was well paced, it was well edited, it was cool. Um, but, I don't have much else to say about this movie.
That's what I'm trying to think. I don't really wanna keep just dogging on it, but I think that's kind of all.
It's kinda all there is.
Yeah, there's not I mean, it's just little bits. There are some good moments, like, so make you could kinda put all the good moments in the movie into, like, a 2.5-minute TikTok and probably get everything you need,
Mhm.
and be good. Yeah,
No,
no need for, what, 2 hours, I think this is
it's
maybe?
long it's a long 2 hours too, like,
Yeah, it is 2
it
hours.
does
Yeah,
not fly by you.
does not need to be 2 hours. Um,
But, yeah, well, then we'll get into the rating before we do that, Imma do my plugs. If you would, head to patreon.com/pennybloom_pod where you'll find over 50 hours of exclusive content, all sorts of book reviews, comic book reviews, movie reviews, and the like. I've been writing a lot of movie reviews, which you can have access to for $1.50 a month. That's all written content, $3 a month for any audio content, and there's so much stuff over there, you would be getting your money's worth, guaranteed. Head to Twitter, follow at @PennyBloomPod, follow on Instagram at PennyBloomPodcast. Uh, Follow on TikTok at Penny Bloom Podcast and find us on YouTube at look up Penny Bloom Podcast. I got some fun stuff on display. I mentioned it earlier. I've got the Teaching a Robot to Love on vinyl on display. It ties in thematically. I didn't have anything Chappie related,
mhm,
obviously. I'm rocking the Dev Patel shirt, which is my shirt for the next several Wednesdays. On Wednesdays, I wear Dev Patel shirts. Um, but yeah, so you can catch all that on YouTube. Uh, Go ahead and leave a 5-star rate and review, and remember to download episodes. The reviews really help. It only takes a couple minutes, and if you made it to this point and you liked the show, I would appreciate it. Um,
mhm,
our audience keeps growing, but our reviews absolutely don't. And it's fine. It is what it is. It's just it helps us know that we're doing things right, and it helps our audience grow even more. So it would be nice. It would just be nice. So I'd appreciate that. But yeah, let's rate this
mhm.
bad boy. How are you feeling?
Yeah, can confirm that album, well, it's above me, might be below for you, but it is better. Better than Chappie. And I'd rather listen to that album 500 times than watch Chappie once.
Yeah, I think I would too.
But it's better than The Last Airbender.
Yeah.
So we gave that a 3 enjoyment. I think I am enjoying it a little bit more. I somewhat teared up whenever the transfer of consciousness was being made, and I'm like, "Wow, what a moment." And then you're right, it does kind of like, "Oh, we're not sticking with this really whatsoever." And then it kind of loses its steam. But
Yeah. I mean, I can't go much north.
no, like 4 is probably max. Like there
Yeah,
that
like
that
I mean
seems
that's
pretty high.
generous. Like
Like 3
frankly, I
5,
don't
like 3.
I would say 3.25 to three
I think
five
just
because I
yeah,
mean,
just that barely above Avatar. I mean, I guess it's kind of the same. Like it had the bones, but they never really went there, and it's kind of
say at least not every line of dialogue was exposition
that's
and
true. Yeah, that did kind of make Avatar annoying, but
yeah.
also there was a very annoying aspect of Chappie.
I would say Chappie's more empty than Avatar in terms of, like, spirit, like, just kind of, like
Hmm.
at least the exposition was relating to those fundamental values and, like, what they were, like, trying
Yeah.
to get across, and so, like, it's complicated. I would say ultimately I would watch this again before The Last Airbender, but in all reality, I'm not gonna watch it again, either of them.
Mhm.
So I'd be cool with a 3.5. I would be cool with that if that's what you're feeling.
I think, like, it deserves a more than just that little itty bitty bump above
Okay.
Airbender, I think, because, like, there are some moments that are actually like, the only moment I think in Avatar that's good is that last
It's the ending, yeah.
scene, the water's coming up. That's, like, it, but there are, like, bits throughout here that are actually good that somewhat keep you more in it, or kept
I
me
think
more in
that
it, I guess, like,
yeah,
to make
like
the 2 hours more bearable, you know? It's
yeah,
still not
for sure.
good. We are below a
No,
5, so, like, for me, it's like I'm already, like, just not I'm not watching this really again.
gotcha.
But I don't know, I think it does a 3.5 is more fair there.
Alright, I can do that. I can get with that.
That's
What did we give Airbender last week for critical?
a 2.
We might be looking at
Um,
the same difference. Um,
2. Yeah. Um, Visually, maybe it, like, would be the
I don't think
only
it's much
thing.
better visually than M. Night
Just
Shyamalan's
Chappie.
The Last Airbender.
Just Chap
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
the
the
actual
visual
visual
effects
effects of
are better.
Chappie, I think, is
I
actually
think
pretty
that might be
impressive.
the only thing that's better. Um,
Dialogue, probably
the
better.
dialogue's not as exposition heavy, but the dialogue's not good, which matters, you know? Like,
I guess, and we also had child actors in the previous movie. We have
yeah,
full-grown
exactly, like,
adults
we don't have a
here.
single child in this
Um,
movie, um, except the main character who's portrayed by a grown man. Um,
yeah. Yeah, maybe it's like, maybe it all just kind of rounds out to be about the same.
about a half a
Um,
point better.
and
Like,
yeah,
I
just
would go
the absolute
2.5.
waste of Hugh Jackman and Sigourney Weaver has to, like, I mean, that
That's
that just taints
man,
it a whole lot.
it's a long 2
Um,
hours. I mean, visual effects are fine, but that can't carry a movie very far.
mm-mm.
Feels very hollow. Dev Patel's good. He's the only good performer in this movie, though. Sharlto Copley does a really good job too. But I wouldn't. It's a little more complicated than like Baymax with Big Hero 6. Like he has to do a little bit more in terms of emotion and inflection and stuff.
Mm,
But
mhm.
uh, it's still just it's still not like it's not overwhelmingly impressive. Um, so I mean, 2.5 just might be it, man. Like it's just that.
Oh, 2.5? Could we
Yeah.
so you do think a little bit better?
I think it's better than The Last
Yeah.
Airbender. Um,
Okay.
I think that, like, while the dialogue is bad,
It's more
at least
manageable.
it's not exposition heavy,
Mhm.
you know? Like, the exposition heavy and bad is worse than just bad, you know?
Mhm. Yeah, I'd agree. It's kind of annoying with The Last Airbender, you
Mhm.
know? It's kind of like, "Okay, wow, really? Like, we are really exposition dropping right now," but then at least it's not as noticeable with
Right.
Chappie, so, yeah, I think maybe just a little half point in
Yeah.
both categories is kinda all it gets, and
What's that rounded out to?
a little half point boost, a 2.83 instead of a 2.33. So still under.
29% for Chappie here, or
Yeah,
28% for Chappie here.
yeah.
Um, but, yeah, man, we'll be back next week and the weeks after with, what will actually be bumps in quality. I was hoping for a little more out of Chap. We got Lion next week, starring Dev Patel. We've got the personal history of David Copperfield the week after that, and then The Green Knight the Wednesday before Monkey Man releases. So I'm very excited for that. We continue our coverage of the Bad Batch this Wednesday
Mhm.
with the double episode release, season 3, episodes 6 and 7, and I am so very excited for that. We're back at Winter is Blooming. Our Game of Thrones rewatch podcast continued earlier this week with the season 8 premiere, and we are pushing forward with season 8, episode 2 next week. I'm so very excited for that. So that's what we've got going on for the next several weeks. Game of Thrones, Dev Patel, Bad Batch, and it's a lot of fun. I'm loving it. But yeah, with that, I was Colton Robertson. I was joined by Joseph George. Thank you very much, homie.
Oh, thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure to be here.
Oh, and it's always a pleasure to have you. And remember, peace, love, and bloom, and always praise Dev Patel.
Mhm.